If you're watching this right now, I want you to know something. This moment isn't random. You were meant to be here. I'm going to share something with you today that most people your age never hear. 4 truths. And the 4th truth, the one at the end, that's the one that matters most. Miss that, and you'll miss everything. So please, stay with me. Don't skip ahead. Every word connects. Before we start, I need to ask you something. What city are you watching from right now? Drop it in the comments, like this video, and subscribe this channel. I want to see where all of you are. Now, let's begin. There's something happening in the world right now. You feel it, don't you? The world you knew, the one that made sense, it's changing, and nobody's really talking about it. Here's the first truth I want to share with you. The systems you trusted your whole life, they're not built for you anymore. They're built for something else. Think about it. When did the world stop feeling human? When did everything become a screen? You go to the bank, there's no person anymore, just a machine. You call for help, you talk to a recording, you try to reach someone, anyone, and all you get is distance. This isn't progress. This is separation. And here's what nobody wants to say out loud. You've been moved to the side. Not because you don't matter, but because the system doesn't know how to measure what you carry. Those things, they're not profitable, they can't be automated, so they get ignored. But you know what? You're still here, and that means something. Let me ask you this. Do you feel like the world still sees you, or do you feel invisible sometimes? Be honest with me. Drop a comment. Say, I feel seen, or I feel invisible. Let's be real about it. Because if you feel unseen, you're not alone. Millions of people your age feel the same way, and that's not an accident. But here's the thing. Just because they don't see you doesn't mean you're not important. It means they're looking in the wrong direction. I've spent my life in front of cameras, but the older I get, the more I realize something. The real story isn't on the screen. It's in the quiet moments. The moments when you're alone with your thoughts, when you're asking big questions. Who am I? What matters? What's left? Those questions, they're the most important ones you'll ever ask, and the world doesn't want you asking them. Because when you start asking real questions, you stop accepting easy answers. So here's what I want you to do. Tonight, before you sleep, ask yourself one question. If everything I depend on disappeared tomorrow, what would I have left? Think about that. Really think about it. Now, I mentioned something earlier, the 4th truth, the one that ties everything together. We're not there yet, but we're getting closer. Stay with me. You know what I've learned over the years? The loudest rooms are often the emptiest, and the quietest hearts hold the deepest truths. That brings me to the 2nd truth, and this one, it hurts a little, but it's important. Your voice has been turned down, not taken away, just turned down. Here's what I mean. The world used to listen to people like you, but now the world listens to whoever shouts loudest, whoever has the most followers. Wisdom takes time, understanding takes patience, but the world doesn't want time anymore. It wants instant. So what happens to the voices that speak slowly, that think before they talk, that carry weight instead of volume? They get buried under a mountain of noise. I've watched this happen. Not just to you, to everyone who values depth over distraction. You post something thoughtful, it disappears. Someone posts outrage, it spreads like fire. That's not natural, that's engineered. Your generation remembers things the younger ones never learned. You remember what it's like to wait, to save, to work with your hands, to talk face to face without a screen between you. Those aren't small things, those are survival skills, and they're being erased. Let me ask you something. When was the last time someone younger than you ask for your advice. Not about fixing something, about life. Think about it. Now, I'm not saying this to make you feel bitter. I'm saying it because you need to know this isn't your fault. You didn't become irrelevant. The system changed the rules. I spent years playing characters who fought against systems. And every time the lesson was the same. The ones who remember are the ones who survive. So what do you do with this? How do you respond when your voice has been turned down? You don't shout. You don't compete with the noise. You do something different. You find the others. The ones who still want to hear. You start small. One conversation, one moment where you share what you know with someone who's ready to listen. Because here's what I believe. The noise is temporary. It's exhausting. People are already getting tired of it. And when they do, when they finally get quiet enough to hear themselves think, they're going to start looking for something real again. And that's when they'll come back to you. But you have to be ready. You have to stay sharp. Don't let the silence make you forget who you are. There's something I do every day, something simple. I sit in silence for 20 minutes. No phone, no screen, no sound, just me and my thoughts. At first, it's uncomfortable, your mind races. But after a while, something changes. You start to hear yourself again. Try it, just once, 20 minutes of complete silence, and notice what comes up. You might be surprised what you remember, what you've been carrying all along. Now, we're getting closer to the fourth truth, the one that changes everything. But there's one more piece you need to understand first. The third truth explains how this silence is being deepened, how comfort became the weapon they used to keep you quiet. And once you see that pattern, you'll understand why everything feels so different now. Don't leave. We're building towards something important, something you need to hear before this year ends. I want to tell you about something I noticed years ago, something that bothered me. The easier life became, the harder it got to think clearly. Sounds strange, right? But stay with me. Every new convenience promised freedom, more time, less effort, a better life. And on the surface, that's what we got. But underneath, something else was happening. We were being trained. Here's the third truth. Comfort has become control. Think about the last time you made a decision without checking your phone first. The last time you trusted your gut instead of reading reviews. It's been a while, hasn't it? That's not an accident. Every time you click, every time you ask, every time you rely on the device instead of yourself, something shifts. Your instinct weakens. I'm not against technology. I've made movies about it. I've seen what it can do, the good and the bad. But here's what concerns me. We've built a world where every problem has an app, every question has an instant answer, every choice has a recommendation. And slowly, without noticing, we stopped being the ones who decide. The system decides for you now. What you see, what you buy, where you go, who you talk to, even what you think about. You might say, no, I still choose, but do you, or are you choosing from options someone else already selected for you? Let me give you an example. You go online to buy something simple. Before you know it, you're looking at 20 options, reviews, star ratings, people also bought this, and suddenly a simple choice becomes overwhelming. So what do? You pick whatever has the most stars, whatever the algorithm suggests, because it's easier than thinking. That's the trap. Convenience makes you dependent, and dependence makes you manageable. I know someone, a man in his 70s, who told me something I'll never forget. He said, I used to trust my hands. Now I don't trust anything I can't Google. That broke my heart. Your mind still works, but you've been taught not to trust them. And here's what happens when an entire generation stops trusting themselves. They become easy to control. You're watching this right now on a device. That device knows more about you than you realize. It knows when you wake up, when you sleep, what you read, what you ignore, what makes you click. And all that information, it's being used not to serve you, to shape you. Now, I'm not saying throw everything away. I'm not saying live in the woods. But I am saying this. You need to take back some of your independence before it's completely gone. Start small. Make one decision today without asking your phone. Go somewhere without GPS. Cook something without looking up a recipe. Call someone instead of texting. Feel what it's like to trust yourself again. Because the more you depend on the system, the less you belong to yourself. And when you don't belong to yourself anymore, you belong to whoever controls the system. I've lived a simple life compared to most people in my position. I don't need much, never did. And you know what I learned? The less you need, the freer you are. Freedom isn't having everything. It's needing less, trusting yourself more. Now, we're almost at the fourth truth, the one nobody talks about, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. But before I share that, you need to understand something. This isn't just about you. It's about what kind of world we're leaving behind. And the fourth truth will show you exactly where this is all heading if nothing changes. Stay with me. This is the most important part. You've stayed this long. You deserve the truth. Here it is. The fourth truth. The system being built right now isn't after your freedom. It's after something deeper. It's after who you are. Let me explain what I mean. For years, I've watched technology evolve. I've seen what it promises. Connection, convenience, progress. And some of that is real. But there's another side. A side most people don't see until it's too late. Every click you make, every search, every purchase, every place you go with your phone in your pocket, all of it is being recorded. They say it's to serve you better, to give you what you want before you even know you want it. But ask yourself this: when did you stop wanting things on your own? When did your desires start coming from suggestions? That's not service, that's programming. I've played characters who fought against this. Systems that learn you, and every time the story ends the same way. Once you stop thinking for yourself, you stop being yourself. Here's what's happening right now. Everything is merging. Your health records, your financial data, your identity, all of it connecting into one network. They call it progress, smart cities, digital identity, seamless integration. It sounds safe. But here's the question nobody asks. Safe for who? Because when everything about you lives in a system you don't control, you don't own your life anymore, someone else does. Whoever controls that system. And here's the part that should terrify you. You're the last generation that remembers life before this. You remember when privacy was normal. That world is disappearing. And with it, the memory of what freedom actually felt like. Your grandchildren won't know what you know. They'll grow up thinking this is normal. And when that generation grows up, nobody will remember there was ever another way. That's why they want you quiet. That's why your voice has been turned down, because you're the last witnesses. But here's what you need to understand. This isn't finished yet. It's still being built, and that means there's still time. Time to teach the younger ones what's being taken from them before they even realize it's gone. I know it's uncomfortable, but somebody has to say it, and I'd rather it be said now while you can still do something about it than later when it's too late. So what do you do? How do you resist something this big? You start by refusing to hand over what's left. You protect your privacy. You make choices that keep you independent. And most importantly, you tell your story, because your story is proof that another way is possible. I've spent my whole life in stories, and I've learned something. The most dangerous thing to any system is a story you can't control. You carry that. You are that. But you have to speak it, because silence is exactly what they're counting on. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What can I do? I'm just one person. But that's the lie they want you to believe. It's not too late. Not yet. And the next truth I'm going to share will show you exactly why, because there's something happening beneath all of this. Stay with me. We're not done yet. They didn't expect. People are waking up. Not everyone, but slowly. People are starting to feel it, that something's wrong. They can't name it yet, but they feel it. I see it everywhere. Young people putting down their phones, families choosing real conversations over screens. And here's why this matters to you. You're part of this awakening, whether you know it or not. Because every time you choose presence over distraction, you're leading. Every time you share a memory from before all this, you're teaching. And people notice, especially the young ones. They're watching you. I've learned something over the years. Change doesn't come from the top. It comes from the edges, from the people who refuse to go along, who remember something different, who hold on to what matters when everyone else lets go. That's you. You might feel invisible, but you're not. You're the anchor. And that matters more than you realize. So here's what I want you to do. Find one person this week and tell them something real, something that can't be Googled. The system wants you silent, wants you forgotten. Prove them wrong. Now, there's one final truth, one more thing you need to understand before, and this one is about what's coming next, what you can expect, and how to prepare your heart for it. This is the part that brings it all together. In that collision, people will have to choose comfort or freedom. Most won't even realize they're choosing. They'll just drift, go along, accept whatever comes because it's easier. But not you. You've heard this message. You know what's at stake. So here's what I want you to remember when things get harder, and they will get harder. You've survived before. You've lived through changes most people today can't imagine. You've seen the world shift, and you're still here. That strength doesn't disappear. It's still inside you. You just have to remember it's there. And when the pressure comes, when the world pushes you to give up more of yourself, to accept less freedom, to stay quiet, that's when you become unmovable. Not because you're fighting, but because you know who you are, and nobody gets to take that from you. I've played a lot of roles, people fighting impossible battles, and the ones who win aren't the strongest or the fastest. They're the ones who refuse to give up what matters, even when everyone else does. You have that in you. I want you to remember this. You're not alone. You're not invisible. You're not powerless. You're the generation that built the world. And you're the generation that remembers what it was supposed to be. Don't let them erase that. Don't let them silence you. Don't let them make you forget. Stay awake, stay strong, stay yourself. I'll see you in the next one.